today it's gonna be a little different. I want to tell you about the time that I heard God's voice. Yeah, and this is a true story, and I'm gonna try to tell it to the best of my ability. Try to give you the best details of what happened that night. Okay, this happened about 15 years ago. I hadn't been too long, got out of state jail. I had been out about 6 months. And one night, around 7:30, 8 o'clock, I remember it had just started getting dark. And me and some more of my family, we was all at my mom's house. But around this time, it was just me, my wife, and one of my younger brother outside. And we wound up getting in my sister's car. My brother was in the front seat, and me and my wife was in the back. And the rest of the family, they was inside my mom's house. And I remember I was looking at my wife, and some more things had took place, but I'm going straight to the part when I started hearing God's voice. And I was looking at my wife, and all of a sudden, a vision came to me. The ground was covered with fruit, different type of fruits, as far as my eyes can see. And at the very back, all the way down, I seen like tractors and things considered to be different business. So I knew what the vision meant. It meant that you're going to be fruitful. You're going to have your own business. You're going to have, God showed me that just out at that moment. And I was like, God is real. God is real. I just started, I felt God's presence. I felt this so strong. And I started telling my wife, I was like, God is real. God is real. And then God showed me something. Remember when I told you I hadn't been too long out of state jail? I was in state jail for a year and 1 month. And when I was in state jail, it was another guy off in there, and his dad was a preacher. And at the time, this guy, he had to be in his mid-40s. But one day, and I only talked to this guy a couple times, he had told me that his dad was a preacher, and we talked a couple times, and but this one day, it was close time for me to come home. I think I maybe had a month left or something like that for my sentence. But one night I was at my bunk, and this preacher's son, cause we in the cell, I'm gonna kind of break it down to you. The cell that we was in was a cell that hold like 54 men, so it wasn't a cell, it was like a dorm room, it's like almost like a big dorm room. It hold like 54 people, so it's a big dorm. Well, it's a lot of people off there, a lot of inmates, waiting to go home. We all got our dates to go home, and it's like 54, the whole 54 people. And this one day, I'm in my bunk, just in my bunk. I had a top bunk, I slept on the top bunk. And all of a sudden, the preacher's son just jumped up one day. And he was like, God telling me to tell somebody something. God telling me to tell somebody something. So cool. We all looking at him. And he's like, God telling me to tell somebody something. And he pointed to me. He says, you. It's you. And I'm like, huh? He like, God telling me to tell you. He asked me, he said, have you read this certain book in the Bible? And I was like, yes. And he was like, go to this chapter and read this certain verse. So I did. I went to the chapter and I read this certain verse. I didn't think too much of it. It was like, it said, I will lengthen your days and make you profitable. Okay, I read it. And that was all he said. So I remember like the next day, he asked me, he was like, did you read that verse? And I was like, yeah. He said, good. He said, God told me to tell you to read that. I didn't think much of it. No lie. I'm not going to, like I had to weld on it. I didn't think much of it. I was like, okay, I read it, And like I say, a month later or so, I went home. Didn't think nothing else about it. But the day that God touched me, he brought that memory back to my head. And he told me, he said, I told him to do that. This is what God's voice told me. He was like, as he let me see that vision of that guy jumping up, saying, God tell me to tell somebody something, it's you. God told me. I told him to do that. And I got even more excited because I remembered that. I was like, I remember when he did that, and I'm telling my brother and my wife that's in the car with me, I'm like, God is real. God is real. And God let me know at the time, because they don't hear God's voice. They don't see the vision that God is showing me. So they don't know what's going on with me. They just know we in the car, we were talking at one point, and all of a sudden I got excited. I'm filled with God's presence. And I'm telling them, God is real. God is real. And I'm trying to let them know God is talking to me, and they like, calm down, what's wrong? And God told me, he said, he would let me know my wife getting ready to get scared. He said she getting ready to get scared. She was getting scared. So as soon as he said that, I could tell in her face she getting scared. No, she getting scared. Then he told me, told my brother was getting ready to get scared. So, and I'm like, and I'm laughing because everything he telling me, they doing, he like, they getting ready to get scared because of my excitement. They don't know what's going on. And something else I want to tell y'all. When you hear God's voice out loud, it is not like they say in the movies. It's not scary. You're not wondering who it is. You're not looking around for him. You know exactly when God talks to you. You know exactly who he is. Nobody didn't have to tell me. God didn't have to break it down to me who he was. I knew exactly who he was when I heard his voice out loud. It's not no scary voice. God got the most calmest, smooth, blessing voice. I can't put into words. His voice give you this comfort, this love, this feeling of, it's better than love that your mom or dad or anybody on this planet can give you. You feel so excited, you feel joy, you feel happiness, you feel protected, it's a feeling that I can't hardly put into words. But I heard his voice just as out loud as I heard my wife and my brother and anybody around me. He was literally talking to me out loud. His voice is not scary. And I can't explain it enough. You don't have to wonder if it's God. You know it's him. You know it. And he's so loving and it's not like it is in the movies when they have this scary voice. And no, God's voice is calm, relaxed. It's a voice that you won't hear out here in this world. Okay, and at this time, my brother done got scared. He done got out the car. My wife done got scared. She done got out the car. Cause I'm laughing, I'm smiling, I'm telling them God is real. Our God is real. And I'm getting excited now. I'm saying this with joy and excitement, but they don't know what's going on. They're trying to get me to calm down. So I get out the car with them, and I'm just out there. I'm telling them, y'all, God is real. God is real. He showed me something. He let me know God is real. And at this time, my niece was in the house, and God told me who was getting ready to come out the house. He said, her name is Shaniqua. I'm going to use her name. He said, Shaniqua getting ready to come out. Next thing I know, when I looked up, Shaniqua walked through the door, and I get even more excited because he telling me who's coming out the house. He did that to each one of them as they stepped out, trying to see what's going on, what's the excitement going on outside. He did it for my niece. He did it for my next brother, my sister, my mom, everybody who stepped out. As they came out, he would let me know who was coming out next. So I'm getting more excited, more excited. I'm like, God is real. He told me you were getting ready to come out. He let me know who coming out next. I said, God is real. He just showed me, and I'm excited. So at this time, I go to the street. I'm in the street in front of my mom's house, telling everybody, God is real, y'all. He's real. He's talking to me. He's letting me know stuff. And God told me, he said, Trenton, everything happened for a reason. Those exact words. Trenton, everything happened for a reason. He didn't explain why he said that. He just let me know everything happened for a reason. So I'm getting excited. But when he telling me stuff, I understand why he telling me. Because some things we don't know why they happen. He just let me know everything happened for a reason. The things we go through in life, we may not understand. We may not supposed to understand. But God is letting me know He's in control. Certain things happen in life He'll allow. We may not like it, it may hurt us sometimes. Certain things happen in life and make us feel good. But everything we go through happens for a reason. Everything in life happens for a reason. His exact word was, everything happens for a reason. So I'm excited because He letting me know things. And at this one point, I said, oh shit, out loud. I'm like, hold on. And I thought to myself, I said, I didn't say this out loud. I'm still excited. But I said to myself, I said, hold on. If this God, why I cuss? And right when I thought that to myself, God told me, Trenton, there's nothing wrong with cussing. It's just another form of language. Again, that's all He said. But when He said that, I knew what it meant. No matter what language we use, no matter what language I use to hurt you, I'm wrong. No matter what words I use to hurt you, I'm wrong. No matter what words I use to praise you, I'm right. No matter what words I use to express myself, I'm right. If I'm using to express myself in the right way, it's a word. It's a form of language to God. Because I used to try to stop myself from cussing because, as you become Christian, as you turn to a Christian, you started hearing, well, Christians don't cuss. Look at him. He's cussing. He's a Christian. So I used to try to stop myself from cussing. God let me know there's nothing wrong with cussing. It's another form of language. See, God's ways is higher than ours. His thoughts is higher than ours. Man have came to set different boundaries to tell you what's Christian and what's not. What's God's way and what's not. And a lot of things we thought we knew, we don't know. Because God's ways is higher than ours and His thoughts is way higher than ours. It's a form of language. The way you use it is what matters. Okay. Like I say, He told me, Trenton, there's nothing wrong with cussing. Just another form of language. So I'm getting excited. Like I said, I'm still excited. I'm telling them, y'all, God is real. He talking to me. Now, all my family's out here, my mom, my brothers, my sister, they all trying to get me to calm down. My family love me. They don't know what's going on. They don't hear God's voice. They don't see the visions that I done seen. They don't know what's going on. They like, did he take something? He didn't take nothing. We just in the car talking. We just out here talking. No. So they trying to get me to calm down. Trying to calm down. Yeah, we know God is real. We know they trying to get me to calm down. But I'm too excited. I feel God's presence. I know everything I'm going through is real. Well, somebody in my family, one of my brothers or somebody, done called the ambulance. Because they trying to get me to calm down. They only doing it out of love. We got to call the ambulance. We don't know what's going on. We can't get him to come back in the yard. We'll get him to come back in the yard. He get too excited. We try to get him to calm down. So, of course, the ambulance come. And when the ambulance come, the police come. I'm not in any danger to anyone. I'm just telling them the same thing when they get there. Y'all, God is real. God talking to me. So the ambulance, they like, okay. They testing them the same thing. Did he take anything? No, he didn't take nothing. We just in the car talking. We don't know what's wrong with him. He just won't calm down. So the police said, well, I tell you what, we're going to make you go with the ambulance and see what's going on with you. Make sure that, see you ain't got nothing in your system. So I go over to the ambulance. I'm just smiling, happy. I'm still excited. And the officer told them to take me to the 10th floor, which is the floor for crazy people, I guess, to get me evaluated. This is what gonna let you know how powerful God is. The officer, like I said, I'm aware of everything that's going on. He told them to take me. He said we're gonna have him. They're gonna take him to the 10th floor. So my wife wanted to come, and they said no, he gonna be there a while. They said it's gonna be a while. So the officer specifically told them, don't come until he call y'all, because he gonna be there a while. So my sister at the time, she had a cell phone, so she gave me her number, and I got her number. I didn't have no cell phone. I got my sister's number. They put me on the ambulance, and they told my wife, they told my sister and them, don't come until he call y'all, because he gonna be there a while. The ambulance took me away. I'm telling the ambulance lady in the back, with me. I'm telling her what's going on. I'm like, God is real. I say, he talking to him. I'm letting her know, God been telling me stuff. He talking to him. God is real. And God told me to tell that woman on the back of the ambulance that was with me. I remember her taking my blood. She broke my finger. She took my blood. And God told me to tell her that she gonna be saved. And I told her, I said, God told me to tell you gonna be saved. And she was like, yeah, okay, I appreciate it, thank you. She just going along with me. Now, when I told her, God told me to tell her that she gonna be saved. After that, all I remember them taking me out the back of the ambulance. So when she taking me out the back of the ambulance, the driver came around to help her to take me out the back of the ambulance. They pulling me off the back of the ambulance in the bed. She told the driver, she say, he told me my life story. She said, he told me I used to be a stripper and everything. And I don't remember telling her none of that. But God allowed me to hear her tell that to her co-worker, who was helping her take me out the back of the ambulance. So in other words, God had told her through me her life story. But he allowed me to come back to myself as he finished telling her life story. She was putting me out the back of the ambulance. Let me hear her tell it to her co-worker. She said, I told her her life story. She said, he told me I used to be a stripper and everything. All I remember telling her, what God told me to tell her, is that she gonna be saved. But that's the power of God. He let her know. He's not crazy. So they took me to the 10th floor. This is how good God is. They took me to the 10th floor. The officer was there. They checked me in. And I'm standing up. The lady at the front on the 10th floor, the one who's supposed to sign you in, she at the front. The officers to the left and the ambulance to the left. They told me, stay right here until she call you up and take your information. So I'm like, okay, I'm standing there. I'm saying to myself, man, I don't want to be here. What I'm saying to myself, I'm like, I don't want to be here. Of course, God, he's still there with me. The lady called me up on the 10th floor for crazy people so I could do my evaluation. She called me up. She said, all right, come here. I walked up to her. I said, yes, ma'am. She said, are you crazy? I said, no, ma'am. She said, you can go. Just like that. As soon as she said, you can go, God told me. I did that. God, with the glory of God, I didn't have to stay at all. He told me soon as she said you can go, and I turned around to leave. I'm like, I turned around. God said, I did that. He let me right out. I get on the elevator. I go down to the first floor. God got me out the hospital. I go down to the first floor, and I'm thinking to myself like, oh man, I ain't got no. I'm gonna call somebody. Like I said, I don't have no cell phone. So I'm like, man, I'm gonna call somebody. I gotta call somebody come and get me. Cause I remember that I already told them don't come until he call you. But I got my sister's number. I pulled it out. I remember pulling out the paper I pulled out the paper with her number on it. But I'm thinking how I'm gonna call somebody. I need to call them so they can come and get me. As I'm walking through the turn doors, the doors that turn around, the little spin doors, I see my sister Cadillac coming across. And I'm like, what? As soon as I see her Cadillac coming across, as I'm walking through the turn doors, God say, I'm always on time. And I'm like, what? So I come through and I'm walking across, they coming across and they see me. They're like, what the hell? How you get out? What? And I told them, I said, God let me go. I said, I walked up to the woman this. And she asked me if I'm crazy. And I told her no. She said, you can go. And my wife was tripping. She like, she is not supposed to do that. They don't supposed to do that. She can't just ask you crazy and let you go, because she knew somebody who had been to the 10th floor before. She said, they don't supposed to just let you go. She said, so make a long story short, if we walking back to my sister's car, her boyfriend at the time was walking in front of me, and God say, he's going to be saved. So I told him, I said, God said, you're going to be saved. They still don't know what's going on. They just like, okay, what I'm saying? So we get in the car. My sister is playing some R&B, some slow jam. And God told me as she was playing the song, as the radio was playing, he said, Trenton, it ain't nothing wrong with this music. I want y'all to have fun. Because so many times we done heard you don't supposed to listen to nothing but gospel music. You don't supposed to listen to no R&B. You don't supposed to listen to no country. You don't supposed to listen to no rap. But God let me know, I want y'all to have, there's nothing wrong with this music. And that's how he said, Trenton, there's nothing wrong with this music. I want y'all to have fun. As in, it's entertainment. Because so many people try to tell you to be a Christian, you got to be in this little small box. You don't supposed to do this. You don't supposed to do that. And I start thinking, even back in the Bible days, they listened to different music. They played different music. You know, God telling us, yeah, you separate yourself from the world, but you don't have to live in a box that's so small you can't breathe. It's okay for you to listen to music. It's okay if you're not gonna go to hell because you say a cuss word. He let me know these things, the truth. You know, so now at this time, I'm back, calm down. As we in the car, we drive back to my mom's house. Now I can actually sit down and explain to them, you know, as God done finished talking to me, he done left and let me. Now I can talk to them and let them know exactly what happened. Now they get an understanding because I done calmed down. I done told them exactly what happened. And one of my brothers told me, he said, man, don't you know when you was doing that? He said, I looked up and all the stars was over our house. And we're like, I believe because all the stars was over our house. He said, I looked up and another one of my siblings said the same thing. He said, I did too, but they didn't say nothing at the time. They just noticed that all the stars was over our house. So just to feel God's presence, for God to talk to you out loud is such an amazing feeling. I got a glimpse of why they shout in heaven, why they so excited, why they feel so loved, why they sing all day to God. Because being that close to God, you have a love and an energy that you can't control. That's why in heaven they have the energy of kids again. Because just being in God's presence, you can't help but sing and shout. You can't help but feel the love and joy of God. God is so loving. He's so kind. He's so sweet. He's so nice. He's a loving God. When you're in his presence, it's nothing to be afraid of. You know God, once you hear his voice out loud, you know it's him. It's no mistaking. Nobody in this world can't tell you it's something otherwise because you know it, you feel him. As soon as he spoke to me, I felt nothing but joy and excitement. I knew exactly who he was. I had never in my life heard God's voice out loud, but I knew exactly who he was. And during that time, when God was talking to me, I skipped something, I forgot to tell you. When he was talking to me, also, as he told me, everything happened for a reason. And another thing, he told me, he said, Trenton, I talk to people all the time. They just don't listen. So a lot of times we heard God, he talked to us. We just got to learn to listen. All right. I hope y'all understand. That God is here. He's the same yesterday, today, and forever. Just as he spoke to people in the Bible out loud, he still do it right today. He still let us know he's God and that he's here and that he's with us. He might don't speak to everyone in this world out loud, but he do speak to us all. He told me. He talked to people all the time. We just don't listen. When you know you're getting ready to do something wrong and you hear that voice telling you inside you, don't do it. That's God. When you know it's something that you're supposed to do or something that you need to do, and you hear that voice telling you, do it. Go help that person. That's God. We just got to learn to listen and pay attention. And I want you to know God loves you. He loves us all. He cares for us all. And to get a glimpse of how they feel in heaven, let me know I can't never lose my spot. I got to get to heaven. I have that feeling even better than I felt that day, that night. I have that feeling forever once I get to heaven. And I have it even more. I have that energy, that love, that feeling of being protected, comfort, and love from God. I have that feeling for eternal. You think I'm going to miss out on that? No way. There's nothing or no one on this earth worth me losing out on that. Not even my own mama. Not even my wife. And I use my mama for example because everyone knows I love my mom. I love my wife. But I tell you, I won't even lose my spot in heaven for my mom. And my mom, she won't lose her spot in heaven for me. Because we choose God over everyone. You know, Christ is real. Christ died for us. He died for our sins. That we may have life and have eternal, true life. God is good. But that's the night God spoke to me. About 15 years ago. I heard his voice out loud. It's his most calm, sweetest, pleasing voice. I can't put it into words to let you know exactly what I mean, but his voice is not scary. It's not mean. He didn't speak to me out of anger. He spoke to me that day out of love. Now, I only can imagine if he speak out of anger. But that day he spoke to me out of love. His voice was not like in the movies, when God speak to people and it's like, you know exactly who he is. You know exactly who he is. You feel him. To be close to God, present like that is unexplainable. The feeling and joy that you get. Oh, it's amazing. It's amazing. It changed me. It changed me. And you know, I still go through trials and tribulations, you know, but I know God brings me through. And I got to stand on his word. I got to remember his word. That no matter what I go through, God won't put more on me than I can handle. I got to remember, you know, you got to build a relationship with God. You got to study his word. You got to pray with him, talk to him, pray to him. So when you do go through these trials and tribulations and things happen that you don't understand, you got to remember what God tells us. You know, that's why I try to tell people. God will never leave you. He will never forsake you. Well, you have to leave God. He won't leave you. Sometimes you may not. It's going to be times you feel like God ain't there. But he's there. God got the power to be everywhere. And you got to remember when you're going through things, all things work together for the good to those who love God, who's called according to his purpose. So you have to bring God's word to your remembrance so you can stand strong. And you may get mad. I get mad. I get angry. I complain sometimes. But I will not leave God. And that's true faith. No matter what I'm going through, I might get angry, I might not understand. But I refuse to leave and walk away from God. Because I know the truth. I know nothing on this earth ain't worth me losing my spot in heaven. Ain't nothing on this earth worth me walking away from God for. Nothing. Nothing. Because I'm going to feel that joy and excitement, that love and that comfort for all eternal. I'm only here for a short time. I'm only here for a short time. But I got an eternal spot in heaven. All right. And as always, if this is your first time watching one of my videos, I'd like to ask you to subscribe to the channel to help it grow, join the family. Where on here we motivate, sharing the word of God, motivate people to keep going, never give up. Let people know God is with you. And for all my subscribers, I thank you so much for your amazing support. And for just being with me from a lot of you from day one. For all the new subscribers, thank you so much for being with me from the time that you have been with me and showing your support. I thank you all so much for your amazing comments. A lot of y'all comments keep me going. And I just thank you so much. And that's the time, the night that I heard God's voice out loud. And it's a beautiful voice. God is real love. You feel him. You feel his love. It's a love that's unmatchable. No one can match God's love. Not anyone on this earth can match God's love for you. Even when we're in the wrong, God still is with us. Like I say, he sent me a message through someone. Even when I was in state jail, he would let me know, I'm still with you. Go tell him this. Told that guy to tell me to go to that scripture and read it. You know, he's with us wherever we go. Even if you don't feel him. Even when you're struggling. And I still struggle right to this day. You know, I had different struggles, different financial struggles, different struggles. No, I go through life struggles just like everybody else. We're going to still go through trials and tribulations. But knowing that God is there makes it a little easy. Knowing his word and standing on his word makes it a little easy. Knowing that if you stick with him, the outcome could be great. Y'all stay blessed. Stay prayed up. And remember, keep God first. Stay prayed up. Stay safe. Till next time, God bless you.